Up the display, of course I'm playing in full screen mode, and I'm actually back to native resolution here at 1920 by 1080. I'm also capping my frames at 144 FPS. I highly recommend a frame cap. I just think it helps your FPS run more smoothly and not have as many lag spikes and drops, as opposed to if you were running on unlimited frames. I like to have a comfortable frame cap. It's something I know my PC can run, especially in creative. Coming down here to brightness, I'm running 60 brightness with Duchanope 8 on. I moved that up from 7 just because I feel like a stronger Duchanope the better. Honestly, I could move that up even more in the future. Duchanope is by far my favorite colorblind mode to be playing on, especially in game. Coming down here, 3D resolution, I'm playing on 88, which is just nice for a little bit of input delay, not to be playing on 100. It just helps your render a little bit. And now, currently at the time of recording, they have taken out the bubble wrap builds for performance mode. So I am playing on high meshes, high textures, and basically it's like performance mode, but with the regular DirectX 11 builds, because I don't want to play on mobile builds. They're really good for input delay, but I just think they look really ugly, and I don't want to use those in my videos. And I have VSync off, of course, and then performance mode. So that's all for my video settings. And now going over to game, I will just scroll through this really quick for you guys. One big thing that some of you guys asked about with my binds was how am I running without a bind, but I have sprint by default on right here, as you can see, so it automatically makes me run when I'm holding W. I have auto open doors on, and there's not too much more here that's important besides building is very important right here. For reset building choice, you have that on, disable pre-edit option on, turbo building on, of course. And then I highly recommend, as I always do whenever I do a settings or binds video, I always will have confirm edit on release on. This is something that will never change for me. You cannot argue with me that it's better to have it on than off. You guys need to switch this if you haven't already. It's going to make a big difference in your editing speed and consistency, even if it feels awkward at first. Confirm edit on release is extremely good. There's almost no arguing that it's not as the alpha decision right there. So you have to be using confirm edit on release, guys. And now going over to HUD, all this is just preference completely. It really makes no difference. Of course, if you turn some of these things down or make your HUD scale lower, it can help maybe slightly with some input delay, but nothing really to worry about there. Now getting into the good stuff, I have made major changes to my sensitivity, guys. So I was playing on 800 DPI, about 7.4, 7.4 the last time you checked in, and now I have moved up to 8% with 1600 DPI. Listen to that, so 1600 DPI with an 8% XY axis sensitivity, and my targeting and scope sense are exactly the same. So guys, here's the thing, right? I am playing on about double the sensitivity that I was the last time I made a video on this about 3 months ago. I've worked my way up to this, and I can tell you right now, it's a blast playing on a much higher sensitivity. Your aim will definitely suffer a bit at first, and this is why, as I was saying earlier in the video, I recommend you guys slowly move your sensitivity up if that's something you want to do. You don't want to do that all in one sweep where you just go right to the top, because it's going to be too much for you to control. You need to inch your way up your sensitivity, but the main difference here is 1600 DPI. So my mouse DPI has doubled, aka if you were just playing on 800 DPI right now, let's say you're an 800 DPI player, you would have to have your X and Y at 16% to match that. So it's the same kind of sense conversion. I'm sure you guys know what I mean, but 1600 DPI as opposed to my previous 800 with 8% XY sensitivity, which is a very, very high sense. I also play with the heavier mouse, play with the Logitech G903, so it kind of fits me personally. But yeah, guys, much higher sensitivity now. I just think it's super flashy, super fun, but you have to prepare for some big challenges with the aim. We can skip over controller settings and volume settings. I just have those down for the video. And now getting into the binds, guys. In my previous video about 3 months ago, almost nothing has changed with my binds. I'm just making this video because it's highly requested, and I have a lot of questions that I have to answer about how I use my binds. So I'll be going over that right now. So I have WASD movement, which is pretty obvious. I use spacebar to jump, 6 for auto run, left control for crouch, which I click with my pinky. And then for fire, it is left mouse button, right mouse button target, R for reload, E for use. Harvesting tool is click down on my scroll wheel. And then weapon slot 1, which I use as my pump shotgun, is scroll wheel up. Then for my weapon slot 2, which I use as my SMG always, I have it as Q, which is right next to W, so it's super easy to switch to my SMG in a fight. This is weird to get used to at first, but I'm telling you guys, it's really, really alpha. And then I use 3, 4, and 5 for my other weapon slots. AR right here, then I use utility or movement, just kind of depends just on what kind of loadout I'm rocking. then left control for crouch while building, which I never really use. And now here's something that everybody has been commenting about on my last video that's come to make me make this video, is the thumb mouse button thing. So guys, I highly recommend, as I said earlier in this video, and I will cover it one more time right now, that you guys need to have thumb mouse buttons to build in Fortnite. Now, here's the thing, right? If you're playing Warzone or Rainbow Six Siege or something like that on keyboard and mouse, you don't need nearly as many binds to play those games. Fortnite is actually the hardest game to switch to keyboard and mouse on, as I learned doing my own switch. And I highly recommend you guys invest at minimum a $20 or $30 mouse that has thumb mouse buttons. You almost need them to build efficiently in Fortnite. But as you guys can see, I use my front mouse button. I use my thumb to click both of these for my stairs and my wall. And then I use C right here for floors, which I actually use. I don't use my thumb for C. I use my left pointer finger, the same button I used to edit with F. So I click F and C with my left pointer finger, just to give you guys an idea of that. Another question tons of you guys were asking is, how do I tilt my keyboard? I usually do it at a 45-degree angle, just so you guys know that. And then right here, obviously I use scroll wheel reset, and I edit with F, as I was just saying. So F and C get a lot of work for me, and then H is repair upgrade, which is kind of pointless, you know, nothing big there. But the main thing is just too hard to compete without it. Trying to have all those binds on your keyboard at the same time is just simply not efficient, like in any way. And is there any more important settings down here? I don't really remember. Just vehicles. Let me see. No, nothing important. But if you guys have any more questions, right, I hope that this cleared up a lot for you guys in this video today. I went over some big differences in my sensitivity, covered some of the big questions in the comments from the last video on my keybinds about 3 months ago. So I figured it was time for an update just to give you guys some more help. So I hope you enjoyed this video, man. Make sure y'all drop a sub with the noties on. It's been your boy BH Humbo, and I am out. Have a wonderful day, man.